name is Emma Barska, and I have been sailing out of the U.S. Sailing Center, Martin County for the past 6 years.
My name is Susanna Barska, and I have also been sailing out of the Sailing Center for the past 6 years.
Today we're going to show you how to properly check out and prepare a Hobie Wave to go out sailing. To check out a Hobie Wave from the Sailing Center, you'll use the iPad that is right when you walk into the sail room. The first screen that shows is the scan your card or type your card number screen. Typically your card number is going to be your phone number, so I'm going to type mine in. Once I type in my phone number, I can see the equipment checkouts for my personal member ID, and there are a number of categories that you can pick from depending on what boat you want to sail. For the purposes of today's video, I am going to click on Hobie Wave. Then a number of different Hobie Waves is going to appear, and I will check out a specific Hobie Wave number. Let's say I check out Hobie Wave number 1. And then the reason why you are planning on checking out this item, we are going to say that we are doing this for membership sailing. Now your checkout has been complete, and you can go ahead and grab a sail, which I'm going to show you momentarily, and go ahead and rig your boat. Once you have checked out your equipment using the iPad at the front of the sail room, you can walk back to here and you will see the tube rack, which contains many different sails. The Hobie sails are located in the rightmost tubes when you're facing the tube rack. If possible, please choose the sail number that matches the boat number that you have checked out. You can find the sail number located in the corner of the sail. And the sails should also align with the numbers that are written on the outside and the inside of the tubes. Once you have come down to Hobie Beach with your sail after checking it out, you should find the Hobie that you have checked out and put down the sail on the trampoline. Make sure that you put down the side of the sail that has the thick rope part facing the mast, because that is what is going to be fed into the mast track. It is always best to rig your boat with its bow pointing into the wind. However, the wind will not always be coming from a direction favorable enough in order to rig your Hobie on land. So you should always put your boat in the water first before putting up the sail. Before you put your boat in the water, there are a number of things that you should check for. One of those things is whether both of your plugs on your Hobie are in and whether your Hobie needs to be drained if either one or both of the holes are filled with water. Each hole has its separate plug, and it's always best to unscrew them before going out on the water, lifting up the bow of your Hobie to see if any water comes out, and always remember to put them back in once you have taken them out. Sometimes it may be challenging for one person or a group of people to push the Hobie in by themselves. However, we have tools here at the Hobie Beach that can help you push this boat into the water easier. These tubes are great resources for pushing the boats into the water. All you have to do is put them behind the stern of the boat and lift up the stern so that they can go on the tubes, and then roll the Hobie into the water. The best way to push the Hobie in is if you can have one person lifting up the stern and one person pushing on the bow. If you are by yourself, I strongly recommend that you pull the boat in by the stern and lift up the stern as you're doing it. However, before you do that, always make sure that your rudders are lifted up, because otherwise they might dig into the sand and break. Please do not push at the tiller crossbar or the forward bow spreader, because you could damage these parts. Before you head out on the water, please make sure that you have your life jacket on and that you checked out a radio from the Sailing Center's office. All right, you ready? 3, 2, 1. Once you get the boat in the water, make sure that you point the bow into the wind. Currently, the wind is coming from a southeasterly direction, so this is how it should be positioned. If possible, have one person hold the boat by the bow while the other one raises the sail. First, you have to unroll your sail in order to get to the top, which is what's going to be first fed into the mast track. Once you find the top of the sail, there is a silver hoop here that is going to be attached to the main halyard, which is going to pull the sail all the way up the mast. Next, you will untie the main halyard in order to give yourself some slack. This type of main halyard has a hook on it that will just directly hook itself into the silver hoop I just showed you. Once you have the hook and the hoop ready in hand, you can put the hook through. Next, you are going to put the main sail in this slot that's located at the bottom of the mast track right here. And you are going to start pulling up your sail. Once your sail is all the way up, you're going to tie your halyard off on the cleat to the side. If you have some excess line, you can tie a double cleat hitch and fasten it securely so that the halyard does not come undone. Next step that you're going to do is you're going to put on your Cunningham or your downhaul, which is located right here. It's usually a blue string of line. In order to have a self-pulley mechanism, you are going to first put the Cunningham through the hole inside of the cleat. You are then going to run it back up again into where the Cunningham originates from. And then you're going to pull on as much tension as you require, depending on the wind conditions. And you will also tie this off with a cleat hitch. Next, you're going to push down your rudders as far as they can go. Sometimes, especially when it is low tide, you're not going to be able to push them down very far. But try to get them as much in the water as you possibly can so you have some steering ability when you're leaving the beach. Once you get further out into deeper waters, in order to put the rudders all the way down, you will press on this bar and that will push them both all the way down at the same time. The last step that you are going to do right before you leave the beach is you are going to make sure that your main sheet is unclipped and you are going to attach it to the corner of the sail. All you have to do is take the silver hook that's at the end of the main sheet and put it onto the silver hoop located at the end of the sail. It is important to remember that when you are leaving this beach, there is a big sandbar that extends far out. In order to best leave the beach, you should try to head out in between the moored power boats or the flying scots so that you don't run aground. Once you are done sailing, make sure that you pull your boat up onto the beach and return all of the equipment where you found it. Also, make sure that you check your equipment back in on the iPad in the sail room. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy your sail.